Is slamming the Northeast. Florida State fans thinking this is why we live in Florida. They're coming inside to watch their Seminoles take on the Louisville Cardinals in game 1 of 4 today from the New York Life ACC tournament. Welcome everybody to ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Principal. Once again this year, the ACC tournament brought to you by New York Life. This is the 8-9 game. Louisville the 9 seed, Florida State the 8. They had identical regular season conference records of 9-9. They split their 2 regular season meetings, with each winning on the other's home court. No surprises in the 3 games yesterday on day 1 of this tournament. Boston College, Syracuse, and Notre Dame all advancing to play later today. The winner of this one between Florida State and Louisville will play the number 1 seed regular season champ Virginia tomorrow, the top 4 seeds with the double bye to tomorrow's quarterfinals. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Sean McDonough along with Dan Dockich. Delighted to have you with us. Coach, what are your thoughts, what we've seen so far here in Brooklyn?
Well, a couple things. Notre Dame escaped Pittsburgh. Now they're going to have to play Virginia Tech, and they've got to win because Notre Dame has been telling us they're back. They didn't look all the way back yesterday, and I like Boston College. I think Boston College with their guards is going to be an interesting second game. Boston College, North Carolina State, then a chance against Clemson. They can play their way in.
This is a very important game, particularly for Louisville. They've been sliding lately, losers of 4 of their last 5. And right now they're on the wrong side of Joe Lunardi's bubble. Joey Brackets has them among the first 4 teams out. But our ESPN BPI says with a win today, they're a lock to be in the NCAA field, but with a loss, just a 1% chance to make it. So this is critically important, obviously, if you believe what you see on your screen, and of course you have to, because it's on your screen. Florida State, meanwhile, projected as a 9 seed. These 2 teams, Dan, as we said, familiar with each other. They played twice. What do you look for?
Well, what I'm looking for is Louisville has to keep the ball in front. When Florida State beat Louisville, Florida State went and shot 31 free throws. And talking to Coach Padgett, he mentioned, man, we couldn't keep the ball in front. It opened up fouls. When Louisville beat Florida State, only 13 free throws for Florida State. That meant that Louisville kept the ball in front. Something to watch. Louisville keeps in front. They're in good shape.
We'll be back in just a moment. They'll turn the lights on, we hope. But first, back to the studio. Here's Adnan Virk.
Sean, I was going to say, normally I'm in the dark, so you know what? I feel like I'm right at one with you guys right now. With Coach Tom Crean, Dallin Cuff, great to have you with us as we look ahead to what should be another fun day of college basketball. Champ Week continues. Before we look ahead, guys, let's look back at Gonzaga last night on ESPN. WCC action, as in fact, Gonzaga wins last night. Dal, what was your big takeaway as the Zags right now? Mark Few's team looks good from that conference once again.
I think it's a team we know that they could make a run to San Antonio. My biggest thing with this team is they've got great balance. When they get good guard play and they don't turn it over, they can beat anybody in the country. But we've seen turnovers being Achilles' heel for this team. When they take care of the ball, they're efficient, effective on both ends.
Josh Perkins is a tremendous point guard. He's been for a while. He's certainly been all year. But their wing forwards, when you look at Rui Hachimura, when you look at Killian Tilly, when you look at Jonathan Williams, those guys make things happen. They are so hard to match up with, every one of them. Rui just takes the ball. He goes the length of the floor. I mean, that's impossible, okay, to play that over a 40-minute period of time. You've got to hope that they're making some mistakes because that length, that size is a real issue. And Silas Melson is battle-tested inside of his career and just keeps coming at it and knows how to win this time of year as well as anybody else.
You see Gonzaga, the ticket punch, also South Dakota State. Tonight's slate, Notre Dame, you heard Dockich talking about taking on Virginia Tech. So, Dal, when you look at the ACC, what are you most looking forward to tonight?
Syracuse has to win. Let's just start there. I'm not even going to get into that much. Now, Notre Dame, I've been banging my drum for them for the last week. Yes, Notre Dame is 12-4 with Bonzie Colson. 6-9 without him. They've won 6 games without some of the best players, one of the best 5 best players in the country. That team deserves to be in the tournament.
Yeah, we shall see. It felt like Syracuse got to win 2, Notre Dame got to win 2. We'll see. For now, back to Sean McDonough, Dan Dockich. Are the lights on? Let's find out.
Indeed, they are, Adnan. We're just moments away from the tip-off. Florida State and Louisville. Florida State, coached by Leonard Hamilton, winningest coach in school history. 302 wins in Tallahassee, now in his 16th season. And on the other bench, David Padgett's done a nice job as the interim coach, and he's with Maria Taylor.
All right, Coach, coming into this tournament, you guys are a bubble team for the NCAA tournament. What is the focus you need this team to have coming into this afternoon?
Well, we just got to defend, we got to rebound, we got to take care of the ball, and we just got to get a win and keep moving on.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
And when you asked him before the game if he was going to address the situation with his team, he said they know the situation they're in.
How can't you? You know, everybody watches ESPN. Everybody on these teams are on Twitter. They follow it. If they don't follow it, then they hear about it from somebody else. It's very simple. You saw the graphic. 100% chance if you win, 1% chance if you lose. This is a play-in game.
Anas Mahmoud and the Cardinals ready to go. There's Terrence Mann, the leading scorer for Florida State. Louisville 19-12. A win today would give them a 20-win season for the 16th year in a row. Mike Eads, the lead official, working with Tim Nestor and A.J. Desai. Chris Kumaji will jump, and he's 7'4", the tallest player, as you might expect, in Seminoles history, jumping against Anas Mahmoud, 7-footer. And we're underway with the Seminoles of Florida State in possession. There's the starting five. As we mentioned, Terrence Mann is not only their leading scorer, he's their leading rebounder. Phil Kofer's had a very nice senior season as well, and replaced a lot of talent from a year ago. Inconsistent has been the word Leonard Hamilton has used to describe this team with a young team. Kumaji's shot is off. Mann up and in.
Well, there's your problem. They start in the zone, Louisville does, and second shots big time for Florida State. The zone is effective because it's going to keep the ball in front, as we mentioned in the pregame, but you've got to rebound out of it.
Dangadell into the corner to V.J. King, sophomore from Cleveland. Shot clock down to 10. Ray Spalding, nicely done off the glass for the junior from Louisville, who averages 12 points and 9 boards a game.
Yeah, that's a great matchup for Louisville. Spalding is really a good basketball player. I mean, if you drew up a kid that looks like a professional basketball player, it's Spalding, and he on man is no match.
Kumaji fading away from Mahmoud, who's the best shot blocker in the ACC. Three in the air, and it pops out from Quentin Snyder, and then a foul before Spalding went up to try to flush it.
This is no match. Spalding, when he gets low, you're going to see he has room, so he goes into the defender and goes to his proper shoulder. It was one thing for Mann to give ground, but it's quite another for him to let him turn to his favorite shoulder to the left. You do that, it's going to be a long night.
Much improved numbers for Spalding as a junior. And Dangadell rattles one home for Louisville.
It's comfortable. Middle of the floor, Dangadell really, really comfortable mid-range.
Kofer tried to feed it to Mann in the corner, and that was way over his head.
That was in the fourth row.
It was a little
That was
high.
over the first two rows.
Well, if it went up to the fourth row, that would sort of cover that it was over the first two rows.
I was trying to be descriptive.
And you did a very nice job.
Thank you.
You're just happy to be inside after our little stroll around Brooklyn in the rain and driving wind. There's a possibility of as much as a foot of snow in the New York area today. See if that impacts the attendance. It is snowy outside, we're told. Rain most of the morning. Spalding another bucket. And it's a 6-2 start for the Cardinals.
We'll have news on the 10s since we've covered the weather. But again, Spalding went on the block. That time it was Kofer, no chance.
Brian Angola the bucket. When you watch games on TV, basketball games indoors, you're not curious about what the weather's like outside?
Never have been. Not even curious, even though I'm here.
Well, there are a lot of empty seats right now, so I'm trying to explain to the folks at home why some might not have made the trip here to this lovely arena in Brooklyn. Quentin Snyder the bucket, senior from Louisville.
Right now, Florida State has come out with zero defensive intensity. I mean, none. They have let Louisville go where they want, both with the basketball on the pass, and you just saw right there Quentin Snyder off of a flat ball screen just went wherever. Look, nobody's even around. Nobody comes up. He's open from me to you. And I just don't think that Florida State's come out to guard yet.
That's been a problem all year long. Quentin Snyder the foul. Kumaji the free throw shooter. You see the snow outside through the windows here at the Barclays Center, the home of the Brooklyn Nets of the NBA, and hosting this tournament for the second year in a row.
Well, this place would be packed if it wasn't snowing and if people actually let you in the building.
We were not happy when we We're told there was a different entrance today from yesterday. We had to walk all the way around the building in the driving rain and snow. It's a miracle we made it inside intact. Adele badgered. Angola trying to sell that he was hit in the face by Adele. 3 minutes gone by. Florida State with the ball down by 2. C.J. Walker and now Angola. Terrence Mann out of Lowell, Massachusetts. Deflected out of bounds. These are two coaching staffs that chart deflections and really value that as an indicator of the quality of their defense.
It shows how active your hands are, and it shows if you're in passing lanes. If you get no deflections, that means you're basically playing with just your feet, not your hands. And deflections disrupt flow of the offense.
C.J. Walker, that is rejected by Spalding. Said you'll get nothing and like it. Louisville third in the country in block shots, averaging more than 6 per game. Only Michigan State and Illinois, Chicago average more.
What's the Smales kid going to do?
I use that every time we do a Louisville game. It's so old and tired, even I am tired of saying it, and I wish I hadn't. But I know, working with you, you can relate to occasionally saying things you wish you had back. Trouble for Florida State. And Phil Kofer turns it over at midcourt.
Well, he can't be happy. I mean, he can't be happy with his team's intensity. I mean, they have been, as you said, Sean, they have been inconsistent at best with their not only defensive intensity, but offensive intensity. And where that shows is what you just saw. A lazy pass, a lazy catch. Basketball starts with passing and catching. And if either are lazy, you get unforced turnovers, and the coach gets unhappy.
Well, they've won all those games under Leonard Hamilton throughout the years, largely because of the defense. They typically have long athletes. Mahmoud challenged by Kumaji and put up and in by Spalding. But Florida State this year is giving up more than 74 points per game. Only Wake Forest is worse in the ACC in scoring defense.
And, you know, they do it. They spread it out. They shoot a little quicker than they have in the past. But you also see stretches where they can really get after you. Bad foul right there.
By Spalding. First foul on Ray Spalding.
You know, when you're that long, you don't need to jump forward. You just need to jump up. And the combination of extending a long arm and jumping forward is almost guaranteed for a foul.
Here's Phil Kofer at the free throw line, 68% for the season. The senior out of Fayetteville, Georgia. A role player in recent years. They had so much talent last year that went on to the NBA. Dwayne Bacon, Xavier Rattan-Mays, Jonathan Isaac, all in the NBA right now. So as Leonard Hamilton said, a lot of the players like Kofer had to go from being Robin last year to Batman.
Yeah, and he's done okay. I mean, look, he 28 against Duke. You know, Kofer's averaging 13 points a game. There's nothing better for me looking at kids that get an opportunity and take advantage of it. You know, you said it. You go from a bench player, then all of a sudden you're in the scouting report and you thrive, and Kofer has.
Just 1 out of 3 at the line for Kofer. VJ King stopped in the lane and traveled.
Sean, right there was a much better defensive possession for 2 reasons. They denied the basketball on the wing, then they denied it at the top of the key, caused the travel, caused Louisville to speed up. That's what I expect out of Florida State.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life. We know that life doesn't fit into any one plan. So start a plan that flexes with yours. And the Lexus Command.
He's a senior that has really had to step up his production this season, going from 4 points a game to 15 points per game over the last 3. But senior day, it was a heartwarming moment when Brian Angola's mom flew in from Columbia for the first time to see her son play in Tallahassee. He did not know that she was coming. In fact, he said that he texted her in that morning and said, "Hey, I'm excited for you. Have fun." It was a usual text message, and then he heard the presenter's voice and he didn't know that his mom was in the stands until she started walking onto the court. Now, he also said that his father was watching down over him throughout his entire season. His dad, Hugo Angola, played basketball in Columbia and was the first person to put a ball in his hands, and he told him, this is what can get you out of Columbia. So he wears number 11 in honor of his father, Hugo, who passed away 3 years ago. But Brian Angola says he is his inspiration every single time he steps foot on the court, guys.
There was an emotional moment. His mother had to drive 6 hours just to get to the nearest airport to leave Columbia. Young man who, when he came here to pursue the basketball dream and a better life in 2012, spoke very little English. Trent Forrest, the bucket. And he's into the ball game for Leonard Hamilton, sophomore out of Chipley, Florida. And Coach Hamilton told us yesterday might be their best player, but he was injured early in the season and hasn't been the same since.
I'll tell you what, he was really good there. Perry's in the game to keep the ball in front, and he just went in the lane and bodied up.
Bangadel came to a stop, has it back, and the shot is blocked underneath by Ike Obiagu, who's just into the game. There's a lot of height, a lot of size on these two teams.
Hey, Obiagu has great timing. Not good timing. He has great timing. I have seen him make 2 jumps, same play, spin around, block shot.
Angola. A deep 3 for Brian Angola. He's their team leader in 3-point field goals made. That's his 58th of the year.
He's team leader in scoring in the ACC.
Good move to free himself up for the shot, and Dwayne Sutton knocks home his first shot of the game. Angola in transition, and it's a held ball. Good defense by Sutton, who got back after making the shot at the other end.
You know, Sutton made the shot, really nice shot fake, and everybody else on his team stood and watched. Angola went sprinting out, and Sutton caught up because he just hustled. His team was watching. He was hustling.
Angola to the bench. And a little pressure in the backcourt brought by Florida State, handled with ease by Louisville. That pass deflected out of bounds by Phil Kofer. Still 22 on the shot clock for the Cardinals.
You know, Sean, the press isn't necessarily about getting a steal. You saw there Mahmoud got the ball, got it across half court easy. But really, there was no setup to the offense because, watch this as we move forward. Florida State stays really well with their own man after it gets across half court.
Spalding missed the jump hook. The tip wouldn't go for Sutton. Spalding contested by Obiagu, and it wound up in the hands of Terrence Mann. Look-away pass, even though his man was already wide open in the corner. P.J. Savoy misses his first shot of the game. Coach Hamilton calls Savoy their best shooter. He missed some time with a bone bruise in his knee during the year.
Well, Savoy knocked in 2 big threes, got off to a bad start. Florida State did against Boston College. Next thing you know, Savoy came in, drilled 2 deep threes, got him back in the ball game. That's what he's in there for.
The foul's on Obiagu. His first. Quentin Snyder, senior point guard, one of the best in the conference, assist to turnover ratio. And Sutton, instant offense off the bench. He averages 4 per game. He's bettered that already.
Man, he went in between everybody and somehow got it through. Back to the zone, probably a good move by Louisville. Keep the ball in front.
Forrest had trouble in the traffic and was stripped, but he has it back for a man to tie up the game for the Seminoles.
I was looking right at Spalding on the perfect line. He turned and threw it. He did not turn, look, and throw it. But when you just turn and throw it, Florida State's going to backbite you, steal easy, and that was all on Spalding, just not looking.
Darius Perry thought about launching a 3. He's been red hot in recent weeks from beyond the arc. Spalding working on the 7-footer Obiagu. Adele in trouble, double teamed in the corner, and it's a shot clock violation.
Well, that's what I was talking about was lacking to start the game. You see a lot of hand involvement, shot fake, guy left his feet, but there was a Florida State player right there to cover up for his teammate. A lot of activity. You didn't see it early. Now you are, and this is the real Florida State team.
Big bodies keep coming in for Florida State. Obiagu goes out, but he's replaced by Fiondu Kabengele, redshirt freshman number 25, who's a solid 6'8", 245.
Yeah, but I thought Obiagu really influenced the game. I thought he had a lot of guys thinking they had a drive, and then all of a sudden they saw him and turned it out.
Savoy, the floater, might have been altered by Spalding. Perry from beyond the elbow might have been deflected as Mann contested. Mann was running the court and calling for the ball. Instead, it's a 3 by Savoy, and perhaps 4 for Savoy as he got hit by Dwayne Sutton.
Man, what a play. Drive it, nothing there. And instead of forcing up a bad shot, turned and found Savoy. So instead of a bad shot that may have been going the other way, Florida State's going to turn it.
Tonight, Syracuse still on the bubble takes on North Carolina, led by Luke May. Let's see how he's putting in a lead effort to win college basketball's highest individual honor in today's Wendy's Wooden Watch.
My name is Luke May, and I'm a Wooden Award candidate because I worked all off season on my game, whether it be in the post or on the perimeter, and I just do whatever it takes to help my team win and do whatever the coaches say.
Carolina fans already in the house, always well represented. Luke May, most improved player in the ACC this
Might
year.
be most improved in the country. I mean, when he shoots, you expect it to go in. He rebounds. He defends, he leads. He's been terrific, absolutely terrific.
Savoy missed the free throw, trying to complete a 4-point play. So it's Florida State by 3. We approach the midpoint of the first half.
Need to get Dang going here. Need to get him in the middle of the floor where he can operate.
Right on cue, Adele misses a 3, and a good rebound in traffic by Trent Forrest. MJ Walker into the game. It's a deep Florida State team. Leonard Hamilton says, I tried to beat you with 10. Not a lot of highly touted individual talent, but collectively a good team. Kabengele fell down in the lane. It's a held ball. It'll stay with the Seminoles. Here's Maria Taylor.
Well, in the last Louisville huddle, Coach Padgett was getting after his team about the spacing on offense. He said they're allowing one guy to guard 2, and they're also letting their offense affect their defense. They're not playing aggressive on the defensive end of the court because they're hanging their heads after missed shots. They're just going to have to make plays coming out of the huddle.
Well, he's right. You saw it a couple times. Shot fake, one dribble. You should be able to shoot it. Shot fake, one dribble when you have no spacing. The man guarding the person next to you can come over and help. And that's happened a number of times.
Shot clock running out. Trent Forrest drives right down the middle and gets called for an offensive foul as Deng Adele stood in there and took the hit. First foul on Trent Forrest.
But you can see how important playing a zone is. This was man-to-man, and Forrest went right by the entire Louisville defense. That's why the zone is so important for Louisville in this game.
Might say he was Forrest among the trees. Or you might not. Actually, I wish you had said it now. That we have a lot of time to ponder that. There's a deep 3 and a good one by Quentin Snyder. 41% from beyond the arc for the year. And in ACC league games, he shot 46%, which led the league.
Yeah, Quentin Snyder's been good forever. And you saw there, they kept the ball moving.
Spalding off to Snyder, and the lay-in drops. And a spurt here by Louisville to take a 2-point lead.
Again, that was the zone. They tried to feed the zone. Spalding uses long arms. Now, in this zone, when you see the ball go inside, you're going to see Louisville stay with shooters.
Long 2 would not fall for MJ Walker. Perry, we mentioned he's been hot from 3, and that continues. Darius Perry, the freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia, makes it an 8-0 run in less than a minute and a 5-point Louisville lead.
How about a freshman coming in? ACC tournament first game. He, in the old days, used to shot fake drive it to the rim. No. Shot fake, step back behind the three. Gutsy.
Back inside the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. New York Life ACC tournament, a part of Champ Week presented by Principal. Florida State has won at least one game in each of their last 6 appearances in the ACC tournament, back to when they won it in 2012. Louisville in its 4th year in the conference, playing in the tournament for the 3rd time. They banned themselves a couple of years ago. They haven't won a game in the ACC tournament yet. They're 0-2. They're the only active team in the conference that has not won at least one game ever in the ACC tournament. Syracuse shared that distinction for the Orange beat Wake Forest here last night. Snyder, another 3, a little bit long, and a big battle for the rebound. All those tall and long bodies in the lane. Winds up as a break for the Noles, and Kofor too strong with the layup.
Well, that was nice by Sutton. Sutton faked at the basketball, made him give it up, and then affected the shot. A lot of guys just give up and fly by. Not Sutton. He played it really well.
Spalding showing his range, nothing but net. And that is just his 4th 3-point field goal of the year. He was 3 for 15 for 20% entering today.
Hey, what a job Perry has done. I mean, Perry has come in and energized us. He got the assist. He's been fantastic. Terrible shot. About 4th in a row.
By Savoy. Kumaji rescued it and got fouled.
There's nothing wrong with Perry in this game. He is confident. He's going to drive it, kick it back, stretch 4, I guess, for Spalding. I mean, if you make it, you're a stretch 4. If you miss it, it's a bad shot, no? 3 for 15.
So he's impressive. You mentioned it earlier. 6'10", 225, certainly looks the part. Kumaji, the free throw shooter. A lot of NBA scouts, personnel people, GMs here in the city this week. The Big East tournament going on across the Brooklyn Bridge over in Manhattan at Madison Square Garden. And of course, the ACC tournament with all kinds of talent on display here.
You know, it's interesting when coaches do this. Spalding just hits a 3. And he picks up his 2nd foul, so you got to take him out. But the thing about it is, you're playing a zone. Again, this is a relatively new thing in basketball, to take guys out with 2 fouls immediately. Like it used to be, all right, I'm going to let you play, we're in a zone. But Padgett, no way. I mean,
Sutton, nice pass underneath. Mahmoud missed the shorty. With Kumaji there.
Pretty good catch by Mahmoud.
Under 8 minutes to go in the half. Louisville in dire need of a win, according to Joe Lunardi. A win, and they are likely in the NCAA tournament. A loss, and they are probably out, according to Joe and our ESPN BPI. It also could be the last game if that happens for David Padgett as the head coach. They're going to examine the coaching situation in the offseason. Players love him. They made a big push to have him become the head coach when Rick Pitino departed just days before the start of practice. Padgett was on the coaching staff. Adele's 3 makes it a 14-1 run.
Tell you what, Padgett's doing a really good job in this game, understanding let's go to zone, and then understanding how to play in the zone. And that's the problem. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They get so spread out, Louisville does, because they're staying with shooters when the ball goes in the middle. That offensive rebounding for Florida State's a problem.
Terrence Mann, the bucket, indication of what Coach Hamilton talked about as his strengths. Does a lot of the tough work around the hoop. Big reason why he leads their team in scoring. Officials conferring. And it'll be Louisville ball out of the timeout.
This kid's been terrific, and it started right from the get-go when he found a low post against Mann. He went right at him 2 straight times and got the first 2 buckets, and he stepped out and hit a 3. And offensive rebound. What else is he doing? He's doing everything, Sean. It's been terrific. Copy. defensively. You're going to see a little flat ball screen. Quentin Snyder, nobody's there. Nobody comes to contest the shot. And you give Quentin Snyder this kind of look from the elbow, it is automatic. Nobody even jumping at him. And this isn't the only time right here. Where's your help side defense? When you're 2 passes away, you've got to get into the lane and move on the pass. If you're slow, Spalding takes advantage of it. There's another possession where Kofor went underneath a easy ball screen on the left top of the key. And dang, Adele just lifted up and drilled it. Florida State's got to get themselves organized defensively.
Strange inbound pass by Adele, rescued by Mahmoud. 10 seconds to shoot. Adele bumped by Angola. Looked like he took a big hit from Kumaji without a whistle.
Referees are giving you that this year. All you got to do is show your hands up. Doesn't matter how much you bang into a guy.
C.J. Walker, the lefty out of the corner, off the mark from three-point land. Mahmoud took the lob. I think Adele, if he had it to do over again, would have thrown that one a little bit higher. But Mahmoud was fouled. He'll go to the line. It's a Wednesday night NBA doubleheader starting in the Motor City. The Scuffling Pistons hosting DeMar DeRozan. What a year Toronto is having. That's at 8 Eastern. And then LeBron and the Cavs in Denver to battle the Nuggets. Part of that. Seems like every team in the West, most of them, are in that battle to make the playoffs, 3 through 8. And beyond, very tight coverage tips with NBA Countdown, 7 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
Houston or Golden State coming out of the West?
I think you have to go with Golden State, although you said, I believe, last Monday when we worked together, said a lot of things that were memorable. But I thought you said that you didn't think Houston had any chance. Is that my correct recall?
Yes.
Man, he
now
got
I've
fouled
changed.
by Mahmoud.
Now I've changed. They have a chance.
I heard Jeff Van Gundy say, I believe it was today, on the ESPN family of networks with Golick and Wingo. The days all run together. I'm pretty sure it was today. But I thought I heard him say that he used to think no chance. Now there's chance.
The problem is you have to beat that team 4 times out of 7. I mean, it's one thing to beat them once or twice, play them again another couple weeks, fine. But you got to beat that team 4 out of 7. And
you grasp the concept of the playoff format very well.
I have. And so many people tell me, well, they can beat them. Yes, they can. But it's 4 times you must beat them. And that's why I always say about LeBron. I mean, say whatever you want about the East, and I know that you mentioned it. DeRozan has been terrific, and Toronto has been really good, but you still got to beat LeBron 4 out of 7 when he's actually kind of caring.
Right. Well, I believe Jeff Van Gundy did say that it's Houston and Golden State, and that's really it. Whoever wins the East, forget about it.
Well, that was my point. You're talking about guys in the West trying to make the playoffs. It's great that you make the playoffs. It's great for the city, but see you later. Unless it's the Suns going a big run.
Amen. We're a year or 2 away from that in the beautiful Valley of the Sun. So a 10-point lead for Louisville. First time these 2 teams have faced off in a conference tournament game since the old days of the Metro Conference back in 1991.
Yeah, it was a good call. I thought they were going to call that on King, and you'd have seen Coach Pageant explode.
It's on MJ Walker for a push-off. Mike Eads, the call, one of the best in the country. He worked the national championship game last year at the Final Four.
Yeah, that was a really good call, but at first it was a little bit confusing. And boy, they're doing a good job, Louisville is, of just making this press non-existent. And one of the ways they're doing it is Mahmoud is just standing right in the middle.
Ryan McMahon off David Paget's bench. He lost the ball near midcourt. Trent Forrest stripped as he went into the lane. Darius Perry 1-on-4, so he wisely pulls it back out as we approach 5 minutes to go in the first half.
Sean, he's playing a great game. I mean, that was just a fantastic play. He could have forced that. A lot of kids would, not him. Playing like a veteran out here.
Got away with that pass. Sutton off to Kumaji. And the Seminoles quickly across half court. They'd like to pick up the pace. But Louisville's done a terrific job in transition defense. And there's another turnover on a bad pass by Trent Forrest. 7 turnovers already for the Seminoles.
Well, you make that pass, you got to give your scholarship back. If you can't throw the ball from the top of the key to the wing against the zone, you got to go non-scholarship. You got to go walk-on status. You just do.
That seems a little harsh to me, but
it's a tough world out there.
It is.
But I mean, honest to goodness, and this is why you see coaches like Bo Ryan. They used to just practice constantly. John Beilein, they practice constantly, just passing and catching. And when you eliminate 3 or 4 mistakes like that in a game, man, does it make your team better, give you a better shot to win.
Mahmoud, nice pass into the corner. Adele, another shot fake, and he gets the bounce off the rim, the glass, and back in. And this is the largest lead for either team, a 12-point advantage for Louisville.
Adele's smooth, isn't he? I mean, shot fake, one dribble, use the glass, old school.
Nice pass. Angola underneath to Terrence Mann for the dunk.
Terrence Mann got that because what you do is you play behind the baseline players, the baseline defenders of a 2-3 zone. Zone defense wants to look out, not behind, and Mann found the opening because he was behind.
Perry took a hit. Didn't make the shot. They're trying to pick up the pace. Florida State averages more possessions per game than any team in the ACC. They like it to go up and down. Mahmoud ended that possession with a block shot.
Love Mahmoud. That was a great play.
Adele fouled at the rim. He'll be at the free throw line. Woo. When we come back, snow falling in earnest now. Another nor'easter in the Northeast. That's usually where they are.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Protect your family no matter what.
Alan Cuff, I'm Adnan Burke. We'll preview tonight's Big 12 ACC action as Trae Young will be in action. Dallin, what are you seeing in this game?
Florida State's been pretty lackadaisical with the ball, 7 turnovers, but Louisville's doing a good job of running them off the three-point line, making them take contested twos.
I love the way Louisville's playing. They're efficient. They're together. They're really connected defensively. They miss a shot, they're not hanging their head. They're getting back in transition, setting their defense. The length is showing up in Louisville.
Sean, Dan, back to you guys.
All right, thank you. Adnan, Dallin, Tom, you going to buy some souvenirs before you leave here today?
No.
I'm not surprised since you do have your first nickel. And you have so many jobs. I'm sure you have a lot of nickels. Are you doing your radio show from here this week?
No. I'm here. The show's noon to 3 on 1070 The Fan, at 1070thefan.com, by the way. It's noon to 3. I can't do it. I'm here with you.
Daniel Dell, the free throw shooter. 33-22. Louisville.
Well, for Florida State, they've got to be a little more patient. It's almost like the ball stays on top, and then when it goes to the side, they immediately decide to drive it. Whip it around a little bit, get it in the middle, and look down.
Three minutes to go in the half. 5 on the shot clock, and the 3 pops out for M.J. Walker. Last deflected out of the air by Mahmoud, touching off a scrum. And a held ball. It'll be Louisville ball.
Louisville went to man at the end of the possession and really got kind of lucky. McMahon got beat away from the screen, which opened up a corner shooter in and out. It's a pretty good idea by David Padgett, but you've got to make sure guys go to the ball screen. You let Florida State go away, you got a problem.
Tom Crean was just saying, you've been saying, David Padgett has to be very pleased with this effort. Of course, himself, Coach Padgett. There's a 3. Sutton out of the corner. Terrific player.
Oh, man.
David Padgett, not long ago, 3-year starter, all Big East back in 2008.
David Padgett was tremendous. Out of Nevada. Yeah, that's all. All right, whip it around, get it into the middle.
And having Gelly missed the foul line jumper. 3-year starter at Louisville, very popular player, team captain, and then on the coaching staff. Named the interim coach just a couple of days before practice started. Of course, after the long runs by legends, Hall of Famers Denny Crum and Rick Pitino, just the third coach in 47 years. And it remains to be seen if he will continue beyond this year. But I think he can be very proud of what he's done with his coaching staff that he had to throw together at the last minute. Trent Johnson and Greg Paulus, guys with a lot of experience. Of course, Trent Johnson, head coach of a number of programs. Greg Paulus done some great work at Ohio State. R.J. Evans also on the staff. Their team with a 16-point lead right now and trying to add to it as we approach the half.
Pretty good play by McMahon, getting the ball, getting it out of there. I'll tell you what, Sutton and Perry have come off the bench, and that's a testament. You mentioned the coaching staff. It's a testament to the coaching staff. Developing kids as they go through a season with some veterans on the team.
It's been a trying year for a lot of reasons. You can imagine the basketball-related stuff, stepping into his first head coaching job, foul on the drive, and he's had to deal with tragedy. Within 3 weeks, he lost an uncle and a brother-in-law this season. I would not be surprised. I think the plan is to take a look around, explore options, but I think he has certainly made a case for himself as the head coach going forward.
I think so, too, and I think a lot will be determined by this week. Next week, I mean, look, he has put Louisville, he has righted a ship that got rocky even in the middle of the whole thing with the banner coming down and all that. And he's kept playing hard and improving.
Snyder, they left him open, and he's just a little bit long with the three. A minute to go in the half. Angola, boy, they are letting them bump players on the way to the rim, but it's been consistent at both ends.
It has. Again, as long as you show your hands, Sean Mahmoud did there. He showed his hands, gave a huge bump, I thought, to Angola. But they have let it go down on this end as well.
7 blocks already for Louisville. Averaging just more than 6 per game as a team.
This is where they get in trouble. With the ball on the side, the spacing has not been good. That's what Maria was talking about out of the huddle.
Good offensive rebound by Mahmoud. The shot clock is off. David Padgett up quickly to tell his team he wants the last shot, and the Louisville fans are on their feet. Three seconds in the half. McMahon wide open at the buzzer, a three, and a fitting conclusion to the first half, dominated by the Louisville Cardinals. 27-5 run over the last 11 minutes to close out the half. Here's Maria Taylor with Coach Padgett.
Well, Coach, a great shot to close the half, but a great run as well. What worked for you guys down the stretch?
Well, we did a good job of defending, keeping the ball out of the lane, but most importantly, we rebounded the ball. We didn't give them any second chance points at it, and it allowed us to get out of the break and get some easy ones.
I heard you telling your team to be more aggressive on offense. What changed offensively that allowed you to open this game up?
Well, they did a good job initially getting us on our heels. We were playing back at half court, and I just said, look, you got to attack. They're not going to let you run a play. You just got to play downhill, north and south, and we did a very good job of sharing the ball.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
They did indeed balance scoring. Spalding with 9, Sutton with 9, 8 for Adele, 7 for Snyder, and the big three to end the half by Ryan McMahon. Halftime in Brooklyn, it's Louisville 41 and Florida State 22. Now the Audi halftime report with Adnan Burke, Dallin Cuff, and Tom Crean. Adnan. Louisville at the half with a 41-22 lead over Florida State. 9 points apiece for Ray Spalding and Dwayne Sutton. A surprising half from Sutton, who scored in double figures in only one of their last 10 games. Meanwhile, Florida State with its lowest scoring half of the season. When you miss 15 of your last 17 shots, it's going to be a low scoring half. So if Florida State wins this one, Dan, it'll be the biggest halftime deficit overcome to win in school history. How do they make history? How do they do it?
You have to be a little bit patient. Like in Florida State, when the ball gets to the side, guys have just put their heads down and driven into traffic. When they've been patient, whipped it around, got it into the middle, they've gotten pretty good stuff. They have to be consistent with that for 20 minutes. Also, they've got to pick up their pressure defensively. I think Tom Crean said it at halftime. Nobody's in a stance off the ball. You got to get active.
Here's Maria.
Well, Coach Hamilton said that for Seminoles, the only good thing that happened in the first half is that it actually ended. He said in the second half they're going to have to do a better job just knocking down those shots that have been uncontested. And he said he's not sure why. They've had so many careless turnovers, but between that and the missed shots, they've led to breakout or lead outs and transition baskets for Louisville. And also something he's worried about is being stagnant when Louisville's in the zone. So they want to move the ball a little bit more, just like you said, Dan.
Their zone offense has been awful. And here's why. They haven't gotten into gaps. You can look on the top of a zone and you're going to see a gap right in the middle. You've got to play 3 out, 2 in against a 2-3 zone. And man, they've just matched up, and it plays into Louisville's hands. They can stay in front. You get in a gap, you can get through, split 2 guys, and then create something. See the 2 guys up top? You've got to get somebody in the middle of those 2 and drive it on the inside foot.
C.J. Walker. Bounce pass to Phil Kofer, rejected by Ray Spalding. Now Terrence Mann. Strong drive, and that one's blocked by Anas Mahmoud.
Man, Mahmoud is a good basketball player.
9 block shots in the game for Louisville, and Chris Kumaji returns the favor at the other end.
Let me tell you what Mahmoud did there. He blocked the shot, then everybody was running this way. He was sprinting, realized it might be a break the other way, and sprinted back. He's just a smart kid out there.
Good catch by Mahmoud, and then a beautiful pass. It slipped out of the hands of Spalding, but he got it back and then lost it again. And Brian Angola was out of bounds right in front of us.
If I'm going to talk about a player, I would like guys to finish so that he gets an assist, Mahmoud does there, and he has better numbers.
You as agent? Of course, they don't have agents this level.
I'm touching that. Mahmoud. That's my guy.
There's your guy.
Love that kid.
From Egypt. 7-foot senior. Whoa. Ooh, that's awfully easy. Just throw it up there anywhere near the rim. And Kumaji drops it through. He's from Chad, came over to play high school ball in Florida, Montfort Academy.
Well, that was pretty good offense there. They've gone to a ball screen where they're doing the same thing. They're getting the ball in between in the gap. And
Kumaji, another block, this time of Spalding. Terrence Mann, his mom a college basketball coach. Kofer show. Boy, Kumaji again, he doesn't even have to leave his feet. Just reaches up and flushes it.
Whoa. I'm not sure by the time he touched the ball that his tiptoes were off the ground.
No, didn't look like it. He had 11 points in their win at Louisville on February 3rd. As we mentioned earlier, each team won on the other's home court. Nice runner by Deng Adel. And they were 2 close games. Each game in the regular season between these 2 teams was decided by 4 points.
Yeah, very good games. In one game, the game Florida State won, they shot 31 free throws. And they took the ball to the rim and they attacked. Game they lost, they only shot 13, and they settled like they did in the first half for quick, bad jump shots. This is end of clock. They go man to man. Now you've got to run your stuff. Ball screen.
4 to shoot. C.J. Walker loses it. They won't get a shot off. That was a heave. And it was too late anyway.
C.J. Walker originally committed to Purdue. Decommitted. Purdue came up with P.J. Thompson, who's been one of the winningest kids in Purdue history. Really, when you look at Florida State, you've got Kofer, you've got Walker. You're not getting anything out of guys that are starters. And when you're playing against a team that I think looks really focused, that leads you to be down 17 at half.
Yeah, Kofer has 1 point. C.J. Walker hasn't scored yet. Good screen by Mahmoud, and then on the roll, he couldn't score. Off the feed from Adel, but he got fouled by Kumaji.
Yeah, Kumaji went through the half, hadn't done anything either. Had 3 free throws, that was it. Got going a little bit here. A little ball screen roll. No help side. Number 11, you see he's just kind of standing around Angola.
Yeah, they gave Angola the foul, his first.
Angola, while he is a pretty good offensive player, has been awful in help side defense. There has been no stance. There has been no reaction from Florida State when the ball has been 2 passes away from a defender.
Mahmoud really struggles at the line, 46% for the year, made 1 out of 2. Ike Obiagu has come back into the game for Florida State, number 12. Kumaji's gone out. That's Obiagu setting the high screen. Angola took a hit from Snyder.
That was a great shot fake. Angola put that thing up over his head.
It'll be a tough afternoon commute here in the New York City area. If you want traffic and weather on the 3s, on the 10s. Angola makes the first free throw. 2 fouls on Snyder. Angola's the best free throw shooter on the team.
There's no reason to leave here. You just stay for the afternoon, get a hot toddy, and watch some night games. A little Irish coffee.
Not a bad idea. Mike Cousins and LaFonso Ellis will be with you for the night games. We have NC State and Boston College coming up as the afternoon session continues. What a season it's been for BC and for NC State. Both pleasant surprises during the regular season. NC State picked to finish 12th in the preseason. They're the number 5 seed. Mahmoud blocked by Obiagu.
That was a great play. Obiagu has unbelievable reactions to block a shot. As good as anybody I've seen all year. And that's not the easiest thing to do. That is an absolute skill.
I think players at each end are well aware now that their shot can get swatted. Spalding managed to score over Obiagu.
There's a lot to like about Spalding, particularly if he can hit a jump shot like he did in the first half. See how they're matched up on the perimeter? You're just matched up.
Trent Forrest off for Terrence Mann. He had it deflected away. Leonard Hamilton frustrated by the turnovers in the first half. They continue sloppy with the ball here in the second half. 14 Louisville points off turnovers now.
Sean, it's not going to change. Against the zone, if you drive it in to big guys, square at them, you're going to turn the basketball over. You're not going to have good offense.
Man, lost it again all the way up. And the dunk by V.J. King off the feed from Dengadell.
Insanity is what? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result? They're doing the same thing, Sean. They keep driving it into pressure, into big guys, into hands. You do that against good players, you turn it over.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Protect your family no matter what.
You may reveal. And the rain continues.
Ooh. As the Earl of Sandwich, I dub thee
the Sandwich.
Oh, well, Angelo.
There was a time when the next big thing in food was stuffed between bread. Now, the next big thing is the Capital One Saver Card. Earn 3% cash back on dining, 2% on groceries, and 1% on all other purchases.
What's in your wallet?
Your father's gone. You could pick up where he left off.
There's an organization looking to start a global genocide.
Oh, that's not gonna happen.
Now I see the likeness. Recklessness.
I'm not a superhero.
Tomb Raider, rated PG-13. Experience it on IMAX.
Designed to handle instinctively. Designed to adapt instantly. This is the ultra-responsive Acura TLX. designed for where you drive.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the TLX.
Better ingredients, better pizza isn't just a slogan at Papa John's. It's a job. So you get a better pizza. 2 pies are better than 1. Now get 2 medium, 2-topping pizzas for just $5.99 each.
So, Lionel, what does being able to trade 24/5 mean to you?
Well, it means I can trade after the market closes.
It's true.
So all evening long.
Ooh, so close. Yes, but also all
night through its entirety. Come on, all the time from sunset to sunrise.
Right, but you could trade
from darkness to light.
You're not gonna say it, are you?
Champ Week. You know what you're gonna get. Champ Week continues this weekend on ESPN.
The New York Life ACC tournament from Brooklyn continues all week on the ESPN networks. 3 games to come today following Florida State and Louisville. We'll have NC State and Boston College for you. Then tonight, North Carolina, Syracuse, Virginia Tech, and Notre Dame. Let's take a look at Joe Lunardi's top seeds as he projects them heading toward the NCAA tournament right now. It's brought to you by Lowe's. Of course, Virginia, #1 team in the country, #1 seed here. And I heard Joe say the other day, even if they lose tomorrow against the winner of this game, they're #1 seed.
They won the league by 4 games. You know, I mean, when we talk about the ACC, we talk Carolina. You know, Duke, they won the league by 4 games. I mean, they deserve to be a #1 seed.
Amazing season. They were picked 6th in the preseason poll in the ACC. That's Obiagu with the dunk. And, of course, they finished first with ease. Tony Bennett, the coach of the year for Virginia, just 2 losses all season long. Strong move to the bucket. VJ King couldn't finish.
I think he got between dunking it and Ogiabu.
Angola looked up and saw Mahmoud Savoy for 3. Some contact after the release. He wanted a foul called by Mike Eads and didn't get it. Florida State is a team that is capable of getting hot from 3. They've made 8 threes per game. That's the 2nd highest in school history, but they're not defending at all.
That was a nice move by Spalding. Went to his right shoulder, a little fadeaway over Ogiabu. Yeah, not much of a zone attack here. Just
Savoy from the other corner, and another 3 for P.J. Savoy, a junior from Las Vegas, junior college transfer out of Sheridan College.
He is the zone attack. Left corner, right corner, find him. He's on fire.
Snyder with room, and he answers with a 3 for Louisville.
Watching David Padgett, he is screaming at his guys to know where Savoy is.
Savoy wanted the ball. Forrest took it all the way down the lane and scored.
I feel a little bit like Louisville has relaxed here a little bit defensively. I feel like they're kind of out of a stance off the ball, not nearly as quick to rally to the ball. And I'm telling you, once you lose that, it's hard to get it back.
Mahmoud, nice feed to Spalding, and he's fouled.
Pretty nice right here. Spalding's a nice player. He started the game making 2 buckets inside, turning to his left shoulder. Here he's going to go to his right shoulder against a terrific shot blocker. Spins back away from the defense. Man, if you do that consistently, you've got a guy who's as good as any on the block.
It's 20 straight years for Gonzaga in the tournament. How soon does Mark Few go into the Basketball Hall of Fame? 82% winning percentage.
Winningest all time.
Unbelievable.
I think they're Did you watch them last night?
They're really good.
Really good. Like, they took a game that was seemingly going a little bit back and forth, and next thing you looked up and it was 20. And then it was 30. I've been most impressed with them in Michigan in the postseason thus far. Now, obviously, Duke, Carolina, Virginia haven't played. But, man, those two teams got really good.
Savoy the miss. Here comes Louisville with the ball and a 21-point lead. They led by 19 at the half. Of course, the Patriot League will send their winner on to the NCAA tournament tonight. Bucknell and Colgate playing for the championship in the Patriot League.
Colgate most famous player, O'Donnell Foyle.
I would think so. Mahmoud well short. Tough to tell from here if Mann got a piece of it. Strong drive by Forrest, and he'll shoot a pair. We were talking during the break, talking about all these tickets punched. Joe Lunardi seems to have Florida State safely in, projecting them at the start of the day as a 9 seed. And who are we to argue with Joey Brackets? I mean, he's a legendary bracketologist. But you look at their resume, out of conference, the only win that jumps out, and it's a very good one, is at Florida. But that's it.
Again, I know we go by the season long, and you see it right there, but, man, Louisville's a tournament team. I mean, unless something crazy happens here, I just don't see where Florida State. Southern missed, Georgia Southern, they lost to Oklahoma State. Beat Tulane, Loyola, Maryland. I mean, they don't, not like they scheduled a bunch of guys here either. I mean,
it'll be interesting.
They could be the team that, when the selection comes out, when the tournament bracket is released, that doesn't make it, that people go, wait a second, I thought they were automatically in. I don't see where they are.
20-10 overall, 9-9 in the league in regular season play. You saw they had some strong conference wins, including a win at Louisville. The North Carolina win, impressive. They have a victory over Miami, a win over Clemson. Adele.
You mentioned their wins, but they won at Louisville February 3rd. A lot of them are early in the year. Virginia Tech was back in January. They won on the road there. North Carolina back on the 3rd. They won at home. I don't know. I'm not sure why they're. It's not even a discussion whether they're on the bubble.
Maybe it should be. Maybe it will be, as you said. Adele the 3, and there was a foul on Obiagu, his 3rd. And then Louisville couldn't get it in, so they call timeout. Boston College Eagles getting ready. Off a win yesterday over Georgia Tech. They'll take on NC State in our next game.
A ball screen with Dang Adele going into the middle of the court. You are in trouble, and there's a 3. And this has been going on the entire game. Watch this. Shot fake classic. Ball above your head, rear end down, drawing the defense, and then just a one little step up and pull up. Just classic offense. Here's a great play, though, by Quentin Snyder. He pass fakes and opens up the lane, but Angola reacts to take away the post, leaving McMahon wide open, and he drills it at the end of the half. This has been all day long. I don't think that it's going to change. Florida State has not paid attention to much defensively.
Mahmoud fouled on the pass.
People talk about glue guys. I hear all of us at ESPN making all these, this guy, that guy. I tell you what, Mahmoud is as good a glue guy as you're going to find. Plays defense. He can guard smaller. He can guard bigger, block shots, passes it out of a press, passes it in half court. Nothing wrong with him.
.12 seconds on the shot clock for Louisville. The winner of this one will advance to play Virginia, the regular season champs of the ACC and the #1 team in the country, in tomorrow's quarterfinals. And Louisville would like another shot for a variety of reasons at Virginia, but especially because of the catastrophic ending to their game last Thursday in Louisville, which the Cardinals had won before one of the most unbelievable endings. I'm sure David Padgett had a similar look on his face at the end of that game against Virginia.
Let Let me ask you a question. Let's just say Notre Dame loses to Virginia Tech, right? All right. And let's just say next game Louisville loses. If you go by the eye test, who are you taking, Louisville or Notre Dame? Notre Dame barely beat Pittsburgh. Everybody says they're back. Okay, fine. Louisville looks great to me.
Well, expectations were high for Louisville before the season started. Now you have to cut them some slack. I mean, the tournament committee won't, but all the turmoil that took place, the coaching change.
That's why I ask you, because the turmoil affects maybe not to the extent of injury when you talk about Colson or Farrell out, but Notre Dame did lose to Ball State at home with Colson and Farrell. Notre Dame did lose to Indiana with Colson and Farrell.
Nice floater by Quentin Snyder. Well, this is a good time to look good. Some last opportunities to impress the committee members in Louisville, doing that and then some today. Wow, what a shot. Put up and in by P.J. Savoy. He got tangled up with his own man, Terrence Mann, who was limping back to the defensive end. Snyder, no.
That was the first bad play Snyder's made all game. It's just a bad decision to shoot that quick against that kind of pressure.
And to answer your question, I think Notre Dame, I know you agree with this, is a lot better than it looked yesterday against Pitt. It was almost as if they took it for granted, playing a team that had not won a conference game all year. As a matter of fact, had lost 22 in a row.
I think we'll find out today.
What's that?
We'll find out today.
We will find out today against a very good Virginia Tech team.
Don't you think, like, if you're Notre Dame, you are not in a position to take anything for granted.
No, absolutely not.
And I thought Pittsburgh played really hard. I was impressed with Kevin Stallings' crew yesterday. I was expecting a mess.
Fiondu Cabangeli lays it in halfway through the second half. It's a 21-point lead for Louisville. They were up 19 at the half. A little too frisky with the hands. Cabangeli, redshirt freshman from Burlington, Ontario, called for his first. Kofor comes back in for Florida State. And Mann goes out. Mann's had a quiet day today, 8 points, and he has struggled down the stretch of this season for the Seminoles. Leonard Hamilton said that's largely in part because if he emerged during the year, he became the focal point of the other team's defense. Snyder, nifty shot from the logo in the middle of the lane.
Yeah, set up by Perry. Perry drove it, shot fake, thought maybe he had an opening, didn't, and unselfishly found Snyder.
Wow. P.J. Savoy. He now leads the Florida State Seminoles in scoring with 14. That's his fourth three of the day, 4 out of 7. Perry lobs it inside of Mahmoud, and good help defense by Forrest. He lobs it up for Kofor. 9 minutes to go. And Cabangeli fouled on the drive. Well, the Phillips 66 Big 12 Men's Basketball Championship begins with first-round action tonight on ESPNU. The Battle of Oklahoma, Oklahoma State and Oklahoma, and then Texas and Iowa State. Shockingly, Kansas is the #1 seed in the Big 12 tournament. Lots of outstanding players in that tournament. Look at today's Wendy's Wooden Watch. Of course, for much of the year, Trae Young was considered to be the leading candidate to win that award, but then Devontae Graham was the player of the year in that conference.
Yeah, Keenan Evans back playing. Javon Carter. I've thought all year long that West Virginia's defense was overrated. I mean, I watch people play West Virginia. They go right to the basket. When you go north and south, you go east and west, they trap you. But I think they got exposed a little bit as the conference season went on. And
well, I lost because I thought you would have offended somebody who way before 8:57 remaining in the second half.
Why is that offensive? Just to say, look.
It's not really offensive. It's, you're speaking from a position of knowledge.
I think so. I'll tell you what.
I read that off the card that you read out for me earlier to use in these situations. Angola, nice move. Ooh, and Mike Eads waves it off from the wing, indicating that Angola used his free arm.
What a big call right here. You don't see this very much in college basketball. The off arm, you see it in the NBA all the time. Let's see, left arm. Yeah, if Mike Eads says it, let's just buy it.
He's a terrific official, and you saw the expression on Leonard Hamilton's face. Mike Eads was standing right in front of Leonard Hamilton, and Leonard didn't argue.
You just don't see that often in college basketball. You see it in the NBA constantly.
Approaching 8 minutes to go. That pass too hot to handle. Perry to Spalding.
Louisville has relaxed, Sean. I mean, they really have. They've given up point after point on this end. Florida State hasn't quit.
But they're trading baskets, and that isn't going to put much pressure on Louisville, create much urgency.
Well, if they hit this.
Angola, well short. He knew it and went after it. When did they stop saying follow your shot? Remember when you were a kid, follow your shot, follow your shot. And now it's unusual when you see somebody like Angola who followed a shot. When did that change?
It was March 16th, 1997. I remember the day. But this is too easy. This is too easy. Louisville.
You think they're going to make a game of it here?
I think if Louisville, good move by David Padgett to call timeout. If Louisville doesn't get organized offensively and start making the extra pass, yes, I think this will go down the stretch under 10.
Yesterday off, the single bye at their number 5 seed. And what you keep hearing, Dan, when people talk about BC here in Brooklyn, they have the best backcourt in the league in Kai Bowman and Jerome Robinson.
We're going to find out because North Carolina State's going to press and press all game. And those two yesterday, when pressed, started throwing the ball all over the place.
They did. Bowman had 8 turnovers.
So you're going to face that all game. Got to tighten that up. If they do tighten that up, this will be a great basketball game down the stretch. North Carolina State, BC. I like BC a lot.
Yeah, they went 0 for the league just 2 years ago. 0-18. They won 7 regular season games this year, plus determined victory yesterday for Jim Christian in his 4th year. Brought the excitement back to Chestnut Hill for the basketball program. Played to some big and lively crowds at home at the end of the year after several years of dwindling crowds. Kofor called for the foul. Phil's first. And here's Dwayne Sutton at the free throw line. 9 points and 6 rebounds today. He averages 4 points and 4 rebounds.
Pretty good weapon to have off the bench. I mean, they took a bad shot there. Dang took a bad shot under pressure. Dang Adele did. And Sutton kind of bailed him out. That's what I'm saying. If Louisville goes back to making the extra pass, they'll be fine. But if they're going to take quick bad shots, this will get under 10.
Sutton's a transfer from UNC Asheville. Played 1 year there. Redshirted last year as a walk-on at Louisville. He is on scholarship this season. He averaged 12 points per game as a freshman 2 years ago at UNC Asheville. Kofor for 3. And Dan Dockich predicting Florida State is going to make a game of it. They're getting closer and closer with 7 minutes to go within 14. The man you want in a situation like this. Snyder, veteran ball handler, 3rd in the ACC in assist to turnover ratio this year. Nearly 2.6 assists for every turnover, and nice offense finished by Spalding.
Yeah, there's your extra pass. A little out of control, but Adele with enough vision to find.
Angola, ball fake. 10 to shoot. Kofor, another 3.
Now everything is drive, kick, shot fake, drive, kick, shot fake, and keep it moving. That's good zone offense. Nobody just driving into a bunch of hands.
How about the improvement of Kofor? His first 3 years at Florida State made a combined total of 12 threes. He's made 44 this year. Perry the fadeaway.
How about the band Perry right there, just lifting up from the elbow as a freshman.
Well, they're lucky Kofor didn't catch it cleanly because they were playing off him. David Padgett was stomping his feet on the sideline, and he is livid. He can't believe it. He just ran all the way to the end of the bench as Kofor got another open three.
And here's why. Half the team was in man-to-man, half was in zone, and nobody communicated and left the hottest guy in the metropolitan area open.
And Sutton turns it over. Life on the Florida State bench now and in their crowd. Kofor to make a game of it. Wow. Obiagu, excuse me. Cabangeli there for the putback. It is a 10-point game.
Oh, man.
Big call there by Tim Nestor.
Because Angola knocked it off Quentin Snyder.
Largest lead was 26 for Louisville with 11 and a half to go.
Telling you, Sean.
So in less than 7 minutes, the lead has come from 26 to 10.
When you relax, it's so hard to get it back. It just is. And I thought Louisville, as we said, relaxed early in the second half defensively more than anything, and then took a couple bad shots, and now Kofor's on fire.
Kofor hit some big threes. Perry for three. Yes, Darius Perry. 50% from three over the last 11 games. And a huge make there for Louisville. With some game pressure on the Cardinals for the first time in a long time today. Angola fouled, and they're going to say he was on his way up. He'll go to the line for two.
Darius Perry, 5 straight points. One a pull-up from the elbow after a nice move, and then you forgot about him. 2 guys went with a screener. Next thing you know, Perry's sitting there wide open. You said it, 50% shooter of late from the 3-point line. His freshman is tremendous.
There's Brian Angola, the free throw shooter. Made 9 in a row coming into today. Now 2 out of 3 today.
You know, if you're Florida State, you don't need to foul. I mean, you got time. You just
all kinds of time.
Yeah, you just keep guys in front, and you look at this.
Kofor the offensive rebound and the score, even with the shot blocker Spalding right there.
Kofor just out-muscled Spalding, wanted it more, went at him, and Spalding didn't react. Look at the offensive foul here on Snyder. He keeps pushing off.
Mahmoud blocked by Cabangeli. These two teams have combined to set the record for most combined blocks in a tournament game at the ACC. Cabangeli the dunk. And it is an 8-point game with 3:45 to go. Last time the Florida State deficit was in single digits, 29-20 with 6:26 to go in the first half. Spalding leans in and banks it home.
Boy, that was nice by Spalding. The ball got in the middle of the floor. Snyder found him.
Angola running the floor, and he gets fouled. And he'll be at the free throw line for a pair after the media timeout.
Hey, how about Kofor on fire? They forgot about him. In fact, Louisville forgot to play here over the last 5 to 7 minutes, and this guy has been money, and everything's going in really pure. And then here on a little bit of a follow-up, just running the floor with a big, gets it done. We got a ball game, people.
Of college basketball is brought to you by New York Life. We know that life doesn't fit into any one plan. So start a plan that flexes with yours. And Pizza Hut. Order online today at pizzahut.com for the best deals on pizza and get it fast and oven hot. Because no one out-pizzas the Hut.
First time in a long time, life on that Florida State bench. They've rallied from 26 down, led by Phil Kofor. The average is 13 points per game, had just 1 in the first half. But he scored 11 of their last 16. He is 12 for the game now. He's hit 3 threes. They've made 8 as a team. And Brian Angola makes the free throw. Maria Taylor had a chance to eavesdrop on the Louisville huddle.
Yeah, Sean, and he's not happy at all right now with the defense. He pointed to deflections, said we only have 2 in the second half, and they're shooting it close to 70% right now. You're not interested in playing defense, so we have to do a better job there. And he also wants to send everybody to the offensive glass, see if they can get some second chance looks.
Yeah, great idea right there, because they appear, Louisville, to be a little bit tight other than Perry shooting the basketball. So second chance looks, not only doing it, but saying it in the huddle relaxes everybody just a little bit.
Darius Perry, and Golden made him come inside the arc. Rebound on the floor. Snyder has it. Now a held ball. And it'll stick with Louisville with under 3 minutes to go now.
Maria wasn't lying. When the point guard gets offensive rebound, that means everybody's being sent to the offensive boards, and Quentin Snyder just did there.
Adele lobs it in for the 7-footer. Mahmoud just about the entire shot clock as they inbounded.
You just cannot foul here if you're Florida State. You've got to make.
Adele, that slipped out of his hand on the way up. They're saying Florida State touched it, and they might be right, but from here it just looked like it slipped out of his hand as he went up toward the bucket.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they got a hand on it.
Yeah, good call.
That's why they're officiating, and we're attempting to broadcast.
Yeah, you just have to make Louisville make a play here.
Snyder. Good position by Mahmoud, but he couldn't corral it. Cabangeli did. He's given them some nice minutes down the stretch here. And a huge possession for Florida State.
Watch Savoy.
Kofor, tough shot with the left, kept alive for a moment by Cabangeli. Snyder the other way, and he is tripped on the drive. You surprised he continued to push it toward the bucket with the 8-point lead?
I really wasn't. I know there's no time, obviously, 2:12, but I like Snyder catching or getting the basketball with his left hand. He was protective here, and you can see the trip right there. I really felt like this is the only way they can score right now, and they've got to. If you're Louisville, they've got to get off 78.
That's the 1-and-1 opportunity for Snyder. Excellent free throw shooter. Leading free throw shooter in the ACC, 88.6. Wow.
I'm more surprised he missed it, but he got
it back. Took it away from Angola. Boy, Florida State got a big break on the miss by the best free throw shooter in the league, and they didn't get the rebound. And now there are 2 minutes to go. Adele, boy, tough shot with 12 on the clock, and he banked it home.
Oh, man. It was so bad it was good.
Wow, got away with that. Really tough shot with plenty of time on the clock. At the other end, Forrest scores, and Leonard Hamilton calls timeout.
Well, Forrest has been terrific, getting right down this middle of this zone and figuring it all out. He's the guy that kept him around. Kofor got him back in the game, but when it was going back and forth a little bit, Forrest was the guy. But here, Angola's got to keep the basket. You've got to keep it under your chin and tight. He relaxed. And next thing you know, think he was trying to do that?
I don't.
Not a chance.
Sports Center, 6 Eastern time on ESPN with Michael Smith. They'll take a look at the Cavs' upcoming road trip, their longest of the season. Plus inside Tiger Woods' comeback as he prepares for the Valspar Championship. And bubble teams that need to win during Champ Week, including Louisville. Perhaps about to get the win that gets them into the NCAA tournament. That's Sports Center at 6 Eastern this evening on ESPN and the ESPN app. Florida State out of its timeout, bringing full court pressure. Not guarding the inbounder, Ryan McMahon. Snyder and Perry coming back to the ball, comes into Adele. Looking for Snyder, the veteran ball handler. McMahon And they get it over with a minute and a half to go. Perry, they were looking to trap him. Snyder with 10 to shoot. Snyder into the lane. Underneath for Mahmoud and blocked from behind.
What a play by Angola. Now you've just got to get points. You got to take the ball at the rim.
11th block for Florida State. That's the 10th block for Louisville on the swat by Mahmoud. 21 combined block shots, the single game record ever in an ACC tournament. That's a 3 in the air. No for Kofor, and Perry inside at 6'2" to pull down the rebound.
Well, Perry, you got to foul. You have to foul. And they're not fouling, and now you've got to foul.
Yeah, well, they can't let them play it out unless they're waving the flag of surrender here.
The coaches don't look like they're waving the flag, but this is the flag.
Yeah, you can't let them do this. Down by 8. Mahmoud challenged by Angola, who is not getting up after he's called for his 4th foul.
That's a little shocking. I mean, you have a chance.
You have to foul.
You
and
have
now
to
there's
foul.
25 seconds to go.
You know, there's two things that kids really struggle with, and one was down the other end. If Kofor had just shot fake, dang, Adele flew right by him, or would have flown right by him, or he could have jumped into him, gotten 3 shots. Kids just want to jack it up instead of just take your time, show the ball, and then deal with a flying defender. And then the other thing is you got to know to foul. Whether your coach thinks you should foul or not, who cares? You got to go foul. You got to keep time on the clock.
Yeah, you can understand why they wouldn't want to foul Snyder, but anybody else has the ball. Wham. They're fortunate it's Mahmoud who wound up with the ball at the end of the clock. He's the worst free throw shooter on the team. Angola goes out with 4 fouls. A little surprised by that. He's their team leader in threes made. It did look like he was shaken up while committing the foul. Underneath, Cabangeli, the dunk off the setup by Forrest and a timeout. Florida State within 6, but you think of all the time they let come off the clock on the last Louisville possession.
Well, now if you're Florida State and you foul, you've got, we said it, you've got 16 seconds at most, so you foul quick. It doesn't matter if it's Snyder or not. You have to foul immediately if you don't steal. And what you may try to do, you know, I don't know why more teams don't do this. You try to jump in front of a guy and foul before the clock even starts.
The winner will get Virginia in the quarterfinals tomorrow. Clemson, the number 4 seed, will get the winner of the game coming up next between NC State and Boston College. And a lot of good action tonight with Carolina and Syracuse, with Syracuse needing a win. Louisville started the day needing a win. Looked like they were going to coast to it. It's become a bit of a seat squirmer here down the stretch.
Louisville's in, you think, with a win here?
Mm-hmm.
Syracuse, you think, needs one more?
At least.
Notre Dame needs one more?
Yes.
At least.
There's the Louisville resume. If they get the win, it'd be their 20th. That would be 16 years in a row with 20 wins. And that puts them in elite company. Kansas, Duke, and Gonzaga, the only teams that won 20 or more each of the previous 15 seasons. I think they have a better resume than Florida State.
I do too. And Florida State is never in this discussion. They are always in the tournament.
Well, I should take that back. I mean, the win against Florida
it's a good
is
win.
Probably the best win that either one of these two teams has. And Florida State has that win.
Yeah.
You think Louisville is still ruining the game against Virginia that got away on Thursday night? And they wouldn't be in this position right now. Had the 4-point lead and under 4 seconds to go. All they had to do was not foul the 3-point shooter and Ty Jerome. And here's a flashback to Thursday night. Louisville up by 4. Just don't foul him. Ty Jerome fouled by Darius Perry. They made 2. They tried to miss the 3rd intentionally, but there was a violation against Virginia. So dang it, Dell, you can't walk the baseline. He did. DeAndre Hunter, the catch and shoot for 3 for the Virginia win Thursday night.
Not even thinking about it.
No.
one of those things, not even a concern. In fact, you may have put yourself in a decent seed with the win here today. And
just don't foul Jerome. And it's ball game over. Kofor the miss, and Florida State is out of time. And they'll have to sweat it out on Selection Sunday with a 20-11 record. And a huge win for David Padgett, 20th of the season. Their second win against Florida State. So they're comparing those two teams. We mentioned the resumes. Florida State, the nice win at Florida. Louisville with 2 out of 3 over Florida State head-to-head this year. Snyder had 19 points. He had 12 in the second half. Spalding at 18. Adele 15. Forrest and Savoy 14 apiece, and Kofor 12 in defeat for the Seminoles. 82-74 the final score. So Louisville advances. They'll get a chance to avenge that crushing defeat at the hands of the Virginia Cavaliers. And they play them tomorrow, 1 week after the disaster of last week. Here's Maria Taylor with Quentin Snyder.
All right, Q, you guys led this by as many as 26. Florida State made it a single-digit game. Describe the back-and-forth nature of this one.
It was a transition game. One thing we had to do, we had to keep the lead. And, they were scoring off our defense. And our defense would carry us through the first half and a little bit of the second half. We just got to maintain the score.
You guys are fighting for your NCAA tournament lives. How would you describe the importance of this game?
We in state right now. Like I said, every game's gonna be a battle. It's either we go home next game or we got to win. I mean, we just got to keep winning, keep the same confidence, and keep playing defense. That's the main thing.
You guys get Virginia next, and I feel as though that's a game that could be a heartbreaker for you at home. I mean, how would you describe the opportunity to get them again less than a week after that loss?
It's definitely a comeback game. We wanted this game. We was glad they was on our side, so we're going to prepare and watch film on them. We're going to get ready for them tomorrow.
All right, congrats on the win.
Thank you.
Record-setting block shot day led by Anas Mahmoud, who had 5. He also had 5 Saturday in their regular season finale at